Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you're watching Abstract Crafter. And I'm coming to you today with a little post review. And by little, I mean itty bitty teeny tiny. So obviously I finished we'll just get them off the hanger. I put them on the hangers when I'm waiting for them to be post reviewed. So, as you can see, I got my little crystals done, and I used them as my side project, I guess. So, had I not done that, if I would have worked on them more full-time, they probably would have only taken me a day, because when I was finished with my main project on my desk, I brought this guy over just to finish the pig, and it took me like an hour and a half to finish just the face. So altogether, I don't think it would have taken all that long. So these are super fun little projects for yourself to do quickly, for a little one to do it, maybe. But let's talk about this a little bit. So again, if you don't remember, the unboxing will be linked up in the eye. I did get these from AZQSD, which is a Huacan sister company, and they are a drop shipping company. They don't do these aren't drop ship. They provide drop shipping to other companies. So, in the unboxing and first impressions, this guy got a 9.5 out of 10 because the big blue and the big pink ones were mixed together. It wasn't a huge pain to separate them out, but fair's fair, and I felt like it's not that hard to put them in a separate baggie. And Magic Unicorn here got a 10 out of 10. So, I'm kind of deciding where to start because they worked similarly, but then each had very different, issues. So, these are both 20 by 20s as advertised. They actually measured, I think 19 by 19 or 19.5 by 19.5, something like that. They retailed for $6.90, as these are right here. That's what I paid. You could pay $11.88 and get each one of these with a wooden frame, and I opted not to do that. I think we'll start here with, let's do my new favorite thing that I'm going to start doing in post is doing side-by-side comparison pictures, because I think that really gives you the best. I mean, looking at it, you can say, yeah, that looks good, but how does it compare? And I could flash a picture, but I don't know, there's something about actually being able to see them next to each other that really gives you a good sense of how accurate they were, I guess. So why don't we do that, and then we can get into more opinion-based stuff. We'll start with the pig. So here is a little side-by-side of him and the best picture I could pull from AliExpress. Okay, so here, and I didn't come up with a clever name. He's just Little Piggy. And here, we'll put in a little side-by-side of Magic Unicorn with the best picture I could find from Ali. So, you see how they're very close. The thing that kind of throws me off with both of them is where the white is, and using the diamond colored ones. Because you can look, for example, here, it looks okay, but then the picture kind of throws you off just a tiny bit. And the same with the unicorn. It looked really cute, just white, but as a silver, it looks a little strange. Same with, the clouds. Don't get me wrong, I love both of these. These are two of my favorites, and especially because they're so tiny and so cute. So, let's start with how the glue behaved. It was nice and sticky, and this one felt stronger tacky-wise than this one, but ultimately they perform the same. And it was really easy to like put a bead down and take your drill pen and slide it if you didn't quite get it where you wanted it. Or if I was like working along and there'd be a big open space where I felt like there was still room for an extra bead, it was easy for me to slide them in. I think that has something to do with these bigger beads. They must maybe need a different type of glue to be strong enough to hold them down. So that's just an educated guess. The symbols were incredibly easy to read. I had no trouble seeing that. So, problems with the canvas is that I'm trying to look over my checklist really quick while I talk about these. It says, did you discover any problems with the canvas not seen in the unboxing, pinching, buckling, missing areas of glue or tape? No, and the canvases were perfect. There was absolutely no problems with it. And at first, the slippery glue might seem like an issue, but it really did make a huge difference with these bigger gems and being able to get them placed. And I think once they have a chance to kind of like marry and mesh together, I think they'll be just fine. So the beads is really where a lot of the issues came in. And I did notice this with the other crystal one I did, the crazy haired owl. And if you need a little refresher of that, I did a few videos on that. I'll link a couple of them up in the eye. So garbage, it's not really an easy thing. And I actually, everything that I'm going to show you as far as garbage and extras, it's for both kits. So this is what I got for the majority of it. And a lot of it is just concave. Let's see if I can get that to focus on the tray there. So you see how those red ones look a little weird? Those are, like you can see the light bouncing off these silver right here because they're very concave. And when there's a dead giveaway because they have this weird look to them. They don't look quite like other diamonds. The only ones that I found that had holes really were the silver or diamond ones, the clear ones. And of course 310s, but that's not a big surprise. So, I mean, really, that's not that much garbage for 2 kits. So, I mean, of course, a couple of the mistakes where they'd flip upside down and the silver coating, like right there, would get on the underside instead, or where it was just missing altogether. But that's really the majority of the bead issues. I did use some of them that weren't super concave, and I'm going to show you some close-ups of these in just a second here. As far as leftovers, I was pretty pleased with the leftovers. I'll start here, and I just grabbed my sheets, so it's gonna not be able to focus if I do it this way. So like these ones here are from other kits. So like the D33, these are the ones with the rainbow coating. Oops, see, and they're already falling out. So these are the ones with like the iridescent rainbow, like holographic-esque coating. And these are some of my favorite ones. And these were the big ones inside of the unicorn. And then here are like the more, these are like blue. I know they look very clear, but you can see a little hint of the blue there. The bright lights tend to wash it out. There are the ones that look more like diamonds, and the pink and the red. So you can see you get a ton of leftovers when it comes to, especially the bigger ones, because it's, you know, you can count on some of them. Like, you only needed 6 or 4, and there would be in some cases, double what you needed. Now, the D33, you have to cut that in half, because I did have some of these from a separate kit. I think it was the crazy haired owl. I did have a few of those left over from that, but the rest of it, maybe the diamond ones, but the rest, like the pink, the red, and the blue, they were all just from this kit. I think it was both kits had the blue in it, and that's why there's so many more left over of those. And I know my light's being a jerk. That's why there's so many more left over of those. As far as the regular now, some of these are mixed with other kits like 208, but for the most part, there is a very nice amount of leftover. And the colors, you can see them a little better in the baggies for some reason, but I didn't match them up to the DMC, but like 666 appears to be accurate as far as that DMC code. I'm not sure what color 762 is, and it may not even correlate to actual DMCs. And then I have another page here, and these are all 775. Some of these were from the Owl kit, but most of them came from this, and there were some, and you can even see in there how there's still, maybe not because of the glare, but you can still see where the light's bouncing off the silver, that there's still some garbage ones in there. But for the other projects that I'm going to use these on, which I'm going to stop promising that it's coming soon, because that always bites me, but I do have something special planned for these. I mean, there's no point in having a huge backup, especially of the crystal ones, because, I mean, the chances of doing them again are pretty slim to none, but I do have a very fun project that I'm going to use these for, and it'll be kind of a combo diamond painting and crafting video. So, now, the general condition of the beads was, you know, they were inconsistent, to say the least. Now, I didn't combine the colors until I did this one first, and I'm going to show you in here. I mean, the sizes, they stayed pretty consistent. I have to give it that. But I want to go into a little bit of a close-up as best I can here. But you can see how, like here, there's a lot more open spaces than, say, I'm trying to find it, like down in here. They're more tight and more patterned. And there's, you know, more cohesiveness. This one overall, the background was quite messy in comparison to the pig one. And even within the unicorn, I was a little disappointed when it came down to how open the eyelashes are. And the wings, that's all sticky in there. And yeah, sure, I could go in and put something in there to fill that, but what? I didn't want to continue on with this color and into the wings, so that's just all exposed. So, and these aren't going to be something that's easy to frame because of how much they stick out. And up close, I'm really not happy with it. Oh, and you can even see how much space there is there. You can almost fit an entire row of beads in there. And I haven't yet, but that is something that I will most likely do. And I may even take one of the colors from this kit that was different and put into the wing just to give it something, because that's a lot of exposed sticky. But then again, some of the space isn't even enough for another diamond. So there's that. I do love the little curly cues that they were able to emulate, and you can see the line underneath it that it was trying to emulate. I do love the overall look of it, especially from a distance like you're seeing here. Those gaps don't really seem to stand out, and you wouldn't know that that's sticky unless you touched it there. And same with this. I mean, this is the only thing that really stands out, is this line here. I still don't quite understand it. I think she is still super adorable. I'm being extra picky because that is what happens in a post review. So you can see her sparkling a little bit even in my lights, and that is what makes these crystals even more fantastic, is how much you just get that beautiful glisten. I was going to say glisten and glitter at the same time. Glittery glisten to come off of these paintings. So we'll get into scoring in a minute. I just want to finish with the rest of it. And so before we go on, I want to give you, so no, this one I felt was arranged a little bit better. It only had one size in the background, whereas this had 3 sizes. I mean 2 on this one. This had 3 different size beads, and this background only had 2, so it was a little bit easier to stay in a straight line. But again, from a distance, you can't tell that much that this is not as cohesive as this one. And for the most part, this one is too. Obviously, where the perfect circles are in this oval and in the bow tie, it's easier to get them to be more lined up, whereas the body down here and the ears are completely different. These are more, it's not parallel, but uniform. There we go. These are more uniform than it is down here. And same with this. It starts out, as well as the background, it starts out staying in a nice straight line until you start hitting around the bigger ones. Then you kind of see how you can see a circle going around it and then diamond spaces to fill in. But if we get close up on this, you're not seeing near as many gaps as you are with the unicorn, with the exception of some spaces. Now, the one thing, the main difference that I found was in the backgrounds here, how you can see that this has got no sticky on it, and it's not painted. And to me, I don't like the look of that, especially when you get up close. It looks a little silly, and even to the point where this one right here, you can't really tell, but it was black. They had just a single black dot because it was part of the waistband. It didn't really make sense as a button or as a belly button, so we just replaced that. And I did try putting red over this, but it just didn't look that good. So I explained to him how we're imagining him popping his head up and being like, hi. And so that convinced Talon to keep the hi in there. And I think it adds a little something to the background. So I lost my train of thought. So so this one is just a complete flat blue, not flat, but you know, blue. Oh, and I did want to show you how this one glitters, because with it being more cohesive, you get a lot more shine on this one, and it's just, they're just so gorgeous. I can see why people are so addicted to these. And I think with crystals, though, you really need to just go a little bit more simple. I mean, this is probably as detailed as you'd want to get. This is just personal opinion, personal preference. I've seen some of the landscape ones where the colors almost get washed out because they're just, you know, so light. I mean, you can't, from a distance, see that different of this blue from the silver. So, just in that sense. I do love how this black breaks up. This, you know, you get this intense sparkle, and then you get this, like, line of, like, solid. And while it does, in essence, glitter, it's a different kind of glitter, as far as I'm concerned. But, I mean, just look at that. Even in my lights, it's hard to get a sparkle like that from a diamond painting. So, I just wanted to show you that again. My overall experience working on these, I loved it. I had so much fun. It was, especially where I could find patterns, it was fun to, like, follow the pattern or play little games with myself, I guess. I don't really know how to explain that. I had so much fun working on these. It was fun to watch them emerge, especially being as small as they were. And one of the questions I put under experience is, did it bring you joy or was it stressful? There wasn't a single bit of this that caused any stress whatsoever. So I didn't need to communicate with the store, so a lot of that doesn't even apply in this instance. So we're just going to go on to scoring. We'll start with the pig because he did get a lower score to begin with. So I'm going to end up pausing in a second here so that I can actually do the math, because I'm guessing that, well, we'll see. So, well, I guess I might as well bring it over for you. So when we're looking at the overall look of the finished canvas, I do give it the full 3 points, even where there is gaps and the border that's not part of the actual painting, and it will be covered with a frame. So for the finished look of the canvas, and that actually brings me to one point that I forgot to bring up when I had showed you in there the concave ones, and I did add them in here. I actually think it's probably not going to show under these bright lights. I might have to show it to you with the other one. I used a lot more of them, like in this area. Yeah, my lights are just too bright. But I do think that you can see how they're a little bit more flat in the light, where the light is right there. It's hitting them because there's not much for them to bounce off of. So it's just hitting them flat. And, but I do think it gives an extra dimension to to the painting. So I just wanted to add that in because I did forget. So let's get back into this now. So I do give this the full 3 points for the overall look of the finished canvas. The bead quality, as you could see, there was very little garbage and there was a ton of leftovers. In my opinion, that's a ton for such a small little painting. So I give it the full 2 points for the bead quality. It has the full 2 points for the fun factor. It was very fun. The canvas condition was pretty pristine. The symbol clarity was amazing. And they get the automatic point for communication because there was no need. And so that's kind of a freebie. So it does get its full 10 out of 10 points. And that's not something that's going to happen very often when it comes to a canvas. So with the 9.5 from the unboxing and the 10 out of 10, the final score for Crystal Piggy is going to be 9.75, which is an amazing score for any product, especially a diamond painting. So yes, highly recommend. And then moving on. So I still think, even with, like I said, the exposed glue, it doesn't bother me. This bothers me a little bit. So I am inclined to take that point away, but I'm not going to because I can go in and fill that in with another color. There's plenty of space for that. I just didn't do it because I wanted to show you what it looked like without any alterations to it. And the wings don't bother me. The only thing that bothers me is that it's exposed, but you could easily cover that to take away that sticky, or even do the baby powder or cornstarch trick to eliminate that stick. So I give it the full 3 points. The bead quality, again, was really good. So 2 full points for that, 2 full points for the fun factor, 1 point for the canvas condition, a point for symbol clarity, 1 point for the communication. This is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. And again, there are like little things that irritate me, but not enough to not like this painting and to knock any points off of. And I just want to say that if there's any point in this, you know, this is up for interpretation. If you don't like the way that I score, you are free to grade this and score this and use your own opinion on this. There has never been a time where I have said, this is the end-all be-all. This is how, you know, this score I give it, that's the score that everybody should go by. That's absolutely not it. This has 100% to do with being able to organize things for myself in a way that is pleasing to my OCD. She is a vengeful witch. So you can feel free to not give it the 10 out of 10 or the 9.75. You can feel free to bump those points up at your leisure. You choose to look at it whatever way you want to look at it. This is just the way I'm doing it, and you can go with it, or you don't have to. We can agree to disagree. This is just the way I'm choosing to do it, and I'm only mentioning this because there's been suggestions to myself and to other channels that we should maybe come up with a cohesive guideline. That will never be able to happen. We all have different opinions. We have different taste levels. It's just never going to work. There's never going to be a way to format one cohesive guideline. And this is just the way I'm choosing to do it. I love the way that other channels do it for themselves. And I love the way that I do mine. So, with that, I just wanted to let you guys get that off my chest. Just to clarify it a little bit. So yes, I absolutely recommend going to AZQSD and checking out their little mini crystal paintings. I think they're well worth the money. I think you'll be very happy with them. Even with the frame. I mean, if you don't want to spend the time looking or making a custom frame, might as well just pay the extra $6 and get the frame that comes with it. And so, with that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun diamond painting. Have fun crafting. Have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.